Now, I tell you, one thing this boat doesn't have, and it needs, is a name. So what I want is down in the comments below, I need you guys to comment names for this boat. Welcome back to another episode of On Point Adventures. We're on the beautiful Moore River this morning, chasing a few bream, but most importantly, we are trialling out the new boat. Now, for those of you who know me, you're going to understand completely why the Savage Centurion got traded for this particular boat. For those who don't know me, I love small boats, big fish, and the Centurion just wasn't tickling the pickle. It was a fantastic boat, but at the end of the day, the challenge wasn't really there. But the thing that I really found a little bit hard to deal with the Savage was the fact that if I wanted to go out by myself, I could not launch that boat on the beach in a bit of surge by myself. Now, let's not beat around the bush. I've owned a lot of small boats in my time, and there was one boat that always stood out as my absolute all-time favourite. I was spewing when we got rid of it, and I had to go on the search to find a new one. Now, that boat that I absolutely was howling that we got rid of was the pink Poly. So for a long time I was searching, and this particular boat here came up, and I just couldn't say no, so we bought it. Here it is, guys. A blue center console 410 Challenger. Now, this is by no means a brand new boat, okay? This is a second-hand boat that came up on the market for the right price, so we jumped on it. Now, we immediately, once bought it, took it straight into Boat City, and we got it fitted out how we wanted it, because it was very basic when we got it. It just had that Mariner on the back there. I know, guys, another Mariner. What am I doing? It's all I seem to find. And some basic electronics. Now, there are some stuff that we are going to upgrade on this boat really quick, but the primary purpose of this boat is to give you a run through of this boat and what it's about. So let's go. We're going to start from the bow, and I'm going to tell you all the bits and pieces that I guess this boat does, and at the end of the day we'll go through a reason as to why I've gone back to this particular POLYCRAFT. You want to hang around for the reasons why I've gone back to this, because they're going to make a great deal of sense. Let's go. Right, so I mean, from the bow, as you can see here with the 410 Challengers, they've got a super big anchor well. Now, that is very important when you're doing a lot of shallow water snapper. This boat here is a 2010 model, and I mean, you can see this stainless has held up beautiful the whole time. Of course, we've got the Railblazer mounts everywhere because we need them for filming, but this is the first edition we put on the boat, which was the Haswing Cayman B GPS electric motor. Now, the reason we wanted an electric motor like the Cayman B was because when we're chasing the inshore snapper, we want to be able to anchor without anchoring. Now, the Cayman B actually has what's called spot lock on it. Now, I'm sorry about the glare here and there, guys. I can't do much about that. The sun's behind me. But yeah, the Cayman B, it has GPS spot lock on it, so we're going to be able to pull up to snapper spots and pretty much anchor on top of it without dropping an anchor, which is a huge plus. So that's why we chose the Cayman B. Now, going back to the inside, these generous foredecks on the POLYCRAFTs are absolutely amazing. And when you open them up, how's that storage room? I mean, they've just got a bit of brim gear in there today, but the storage room in them is absolutely ginormous. And that's it. I mean, good storage area in boats is absolutely paramount, especially when they're smaller boats like a 4.1 meter boat. Okay, we'll go to the center console. It's got a little tiny floodlight on there. We've got a B or a wasp, probably more of a wasp. We've got obviously our nav lights, but yeah, just a standard little center console that comes with them. Now, these are actually a really good little center console. They tend to work really well. They're actually a lot more comfortable than I thought. We've got the Lowrance Hook 5 there, which will get an upgrade, a tiny little windscreen, more Railblazer stuff there. We've got all our switch panels. We've got our cigarette lighter there. There we've got our USB bilge pump, C-Tech charging port and so forth, and underneath the console there is where we've mounted the battery. Now, the floor throughout the boat, as you can see, is nice and flat. We've got the 70 litre cooler box there, And the reason we went the 70 litre is because we plan on probably fishing a few brim comps. So that there is going to double as our live well, because we can put a bilge pump into recirc and that works perfectly. But above all else, the 70 litre is going to be good enough, certainly, to be, you know, putting some decent fish in. Okay, now we go here, we've just put a little 3 rod rack rod holder in there, which is perfect enough for me just to hold the brim rods and whatnot. We've got to find a better spot for that landing net. On the back rails here, we've just added 2 on each side. We've added one of these bowline stainless steel rod holders. Now this is just going to be for trolling and whatnot. Now the standard Polycraft rod holders at the back are always just the Emerald rod holders, so we've replaced them with stainless steel with a plastic cap to keep the water out. As you can see, again, we've got beautiful rear casting deck. Now these rear casting decks, guys, are absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We open them up. Now this is the basic poly. It doesn't have any of the tubs or anything, but here we've got the electric motor battery mounted in the back there, and over the other side there we've got the fuel tank. Coming around to the powerhouse, we've got the Mariner 40. That's right, guys, we couldn't help ourselves. We just can't get away from these Mariners, and in fact it's a running joke now with one of my mates, Neil, that I just can't get away from these Mariners. This is a 2-stroke. It's an oil injected 2-stroke, so it does run okay. One thing I am finding it very hard to get used to again is the 2-stroke. After having a 4-stroke, oh man, the 2-stroke, clunky, just rough idles and all that, and low speed is just not as great. But I tell you what, one thing that's good about the 2-stroke, when you open this up, it goes. And I mean, we're getting a top speed out of this boat of almost 30 knots. Now 30 knots in a 4.1 metre is absolutely hooking. Absolutely hooking. It's fantastic. We have got twin bilge pumps in this boat. Now the reason we went the twin bilge pumps is because in open water with a lower sided boat, if any water does come in, I want to get it out. And as you can see there, the exits for those bilge pumps are ginormous, so they pump a lot of water out real quick. It does have also here the standard little ladder, because these little steps here, they're just not much chop. The transducer placement, as you can see down there, was a really interesting place for it. I don't know whether or not I liked it until I've got it on the water today. And to me, this transducer is set all wrong. There was nothing right about the setting. It was too low. It was almost on the strakes. It was just a weird placement. I get perfect reading at almost 30 knots out of that. How is that even possible? Oh, good grief. Now, I tell you, one thing this boat doesn't have, and it needs, is a name. So what I want is, down in the comments below, I need you guys to comment names for this boat, and let's hope we can find a real good one, because I tell you what, if we can come up with a pretty good cheeky name, I'm telling you, I'll put it on. Now I've already had the name Balls, because it's blue balls. I've already had the name Bonnie Blue. Nope, not happening. But something inventive would be pretty good. Now, I did promise you that I wanted to talk to you as to why this is the perfect boat. And I will. The reason that the 410 Challenger is the perfect boat is because my fishing styles are very diverse. So I'm not one of these guys that just chases dewies, or maybe I just chase snapper, or I just chase brim, or I just chase trout. Okay, I do a lot of everything. Now, the problem with a standard aluminium boat is it bangs too much, where the Polycraft solves that problem. The problem with the fiberglass is that the fiberglass, when beach launching, grazes. That doesn't happen on the Polycraft. But most importantly is that the Challenger hull has got quite a shallow draw, so it's fantastic for the brim fishing and when we get back down to Waroona Dam chasing the trout and so forth. But above all else, its seaworthiness is well above what people give it credit for. Now, in that pink poly, we did a lot of big ocean missions. We did a lot of, as I said, a lot of ocean missions. We know exactly what the capabilities of this particular boat are, and I'm really, really confident that we can take this boat to places that others can't. Okay. Now, when I say that, sure, big boats can go further than me. Sure, proper bass boats can do better than me in the brim. But a bass boat can't go out in the water, and the big boats can't come up and fish the brim tournaments. And I think the brim tournaments are actually going to be a pretty bloody good thing this year. For those who don't know anything about brim tournaments, go check out the West Australian Tournament Anglers page on Facebook, or you can find the website. Now, just a quick thing, we're not affiliated with them at all, nor are we affiliated with POLYCRAFT at all, actually. But the thing with the WA Tournament Anglers is that these guys here aren't just tournament fishermen, they're mates. Now, they get along, they're a good group of guys as a majority, and they really, really can help you get into this scene and have a great time doing it. Now, I haven't competed for 4 or 5 years, but the guys still talk, we still talk all the time. And as I said, the organisers and the event organisers and so forth are just good people. They're not drongos. So guys, if you're ever interested in getting into brim tournaments on the off spin of this video, have a look at, as I said, West Australian Tournament Anglers. It's a good thing. But all in all, guys, that's an introduction to the new blue POLYCRAFT that you are actually going to see a ton on this channel. I'm really sorry that we didn't do a lot more with the Centurion, but as I said, it was just too hard to launch solo. It was just too hard to use by myself. I was always scared that I was going to graze it on the beach because we beach launch where I live. So we had to find the alternative. I didn't want to go back to aluminium because even though the Buster was a brilliant boat, as you've seen in a previous video, it just wasn't comfortable enough if it was a banging sea, where this is going to be a lot more comfortable, especially with the console. Just a quick one on budget. If you are going to look for these, you can actually find these 410 challenges for about $10,000 for a really prime one. You can get cheaper, not like more average ones. I'm not going to swear on camera. More average ones for around the $6,000, or you can, pretty much find an immaculate boat for under 20. I think we did all right with this one here. We paid a very good price for it. And Boat City, as I said, we took it straight in there and they did all the fit up, cleaned everything up for me, made sure it was ship shape, and made sure that Mariner there was not going to let me down. Anyway, guys, enough rambling. I'm going to get back to brim fishing. I'll see you on the next episode. And how noisy are those bloody birds? Well, good to be back in nature. See you later.